All right, everything's rolling?
Yep.
Cool. So that's running, that's running, that's running.
That's on.
On. Welcome back to Opalwords, where we look at the weird and wonderful terminology of the Lightning Ridge opal fields. This time, we're looking at the word muggy, which is a bit controversial because it used to be kind of an insult, and now it's come to have a much more specific and useful meaning. So, what's a muggy? What's a muggy? What's a muggy?
A muggy. Muggy basically is a stone. Oh man, I'm not prepared for this first question at all. A muggy. Where we start?
A muggy is basically a low-value stone. If you're mining, a muggy is a stone you don't get any money out of.
Yeah.
And if you're buying and selling, a muggy is just a low-value stone that's neither here nor there. As far as the opal dealing is concerned, a muggy is something you might use to pad out a parcel.
Yeah.
But it's a matter of perspective. Like some people, $100 muggy is an amazing stone.
Well, that's fuel money at that point.
Depends on your budget.
Yeah, bread and butter.
If you're an opal miner, you might consider anything that doesn't basically get you money back for your mining efforts to be a muggy. So if you're just finding colour, but you're not actually able to cut stones or cut anything decent out of it, you might call that just muggies. So you might have a mine in which you never found a muggy, so that's not a good outcome for that particular mine.
Quite often we give the muggies away to our friends and tourists.
Okay, so a muggy is a low value stone, and low value is obviously open to some interpretation, but where does the word actually come from? Well, once again, the answer is in Stuart Lloyd's The Lightning Ridge book from 1967 with its wonderful glossary of terms. Lloyd includes a definition for mug stone, which might give you some clue as to its origins. His definition reads, cheap or poor quality opal stones sold to inexperienced persons or mugs for more than they are worth. Mug, as a term for a gullible person, goes back to late 19th century British slang, mostly among criminals. It started with actual drinking mugs back in the 1700s, which would sometimes be made with ugly faces on them. This is a Toby jug, which is kind of a similar thing, which dates back to the 1700s as well. So thanks to drinking mugs with ugly faces on them, the word mug started to mean face, which is where we get the word mugshot. And as mug shots were only made for criminals who got caught, those criminals were mugs. And it didn't take long before mug evolved not just to mean criminals who got caught, but gullible people in general. So a muggy was a low-value stone that might be sold to a gullible person for more than it's worth, but today it's a little more nuanced and complex. A muggy is a low-value stone that's difficult to sell. I would also say that a muggy is a stone that's value doesn't exceed the amount of resources already put into it. So it's a stone that doesn't pay for the fuel and running costs of mining it, it's a stone that doesn't pay for the time and effort of cutting and polishing it, and it's a stone that doesn't pay for the administrative costs of keeping it in stock, in a store, or in the inventory of an opal dealer. So a word that used to mean a stone sold to an inexperienced person for too much money has evolved over time to mean a specific category of low-value opal. And in wrapping this one up, I'd just like to mention that things have changed a lot since this word came into existence back in the early 20th century, and while it may have been a bit of an inside joke back then about ripping people off, that's not something that should really reflect on the opal industry today. The integrity of the opal industry is stronger than ever, and it's properly hard work for the people who choose to work in it. But as I've pointed out on this channel before, like in that video, if you're buying opal, you should always be cautious, you should do your research, and you should purchase from reputable sellers. I guess what I'm trying to say is, don't be a mug. This video was made with the help of Sean Gallman and also the assistance of the Lightning Ridge Historical Society. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to IDU Curiosity on YouTube and following along on all of the usual social media platforms. The links are all in the description, and thank you for watching.